You guys ever see the commercials for Satya mattresses? Well, this has nothing to do with that. But if you're sleeping on one, you better not sleep on Satya. This guy is a budget beast, tremendously powerful, overlooked at 35 cents. Is it the energy? You know, I don't know. Is it the purple hat and the blue beard? Or the immensely lame cyberpunk goggles? Let's talk about this guy. And if you like this stuff, like and subscribe, buddy. Let's have a damn conversation together. I have a Patreon, you get ad-free videos, you get access to me, DM me, I'll send you exclusive pics of my shoulder hair if that's what you're into, dude. And finally, hop in the Discord. We got a thriving community of hot dudes in there. Honestly, I don't know what any of them look like, I just assume they're hot dudes. Shout out to the patrons, wear your badge of honor with pride. This guy is Satya, Aetherflux Genius. 1 blue, red, and a white for a legendary creature, human artificer. It's a 3/5 with menace and haste. When this guy attacks, create a tapped and attacking token. That's a copy of up to one other target non-token creature you control. You get 2 energy. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. Okay, this guy looks like a craft brewer who's hosting D&D and bringing his own Ben & Jerry's for everybody to share. Looks like a nice guy. Never really liked the floppy beanie look until I tried it myself, but only in the winter, dude. Summertime with a floppy beanie is absolutely insane. Anybody who does that has got to be a maniac. It's an affectation at that point. You know, I need ventilation for my beautiful dome. Anyways, bro, this guy has haste and menace, so hopefully turn 4 we're doing the thing. Who cares about the energy? I mean, it's good to have. You know, you can activate that later in the game, keep your copy, but you are making copies, buddy. Ignore the energy, just do the damn thing, dude. Everybody wants a budget deck they can bust out after mercilessly stomping the table with a turn 4 combo win. Everybody needs one of those decks. Power down a little bit. But listen, man, you don't want to just lose immediately. Throw yourself on the proverbial sword. You want to meaningfully participate in the game. You want to have interaction and decision points. You want to have fun. That's why you should run Satya, and that's why you need ETB effects. If you're creating tokens of creatures you control, you want them to enter and get immediate value. This guy's a perfect commander for that. Look through your bulk box, dude. You probably got a ton of those types of cards in there. You have ETB creatures lying around. Make copies with this guy. You want to draw some cards? You got that covered, buddy. Everybody likes drawing cards. Spirited Companion, Aether Channeler, Inspiring Overseer. Draw some cards on ETB, buddy. And you also have interesting cards like Rumor Gatherer out there. 1 white, creature elf wizard. It's a 2/1. Has Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. This is the second time this ability has resolved this turn. Draw a card instead. Scry, draw, make things happen, dude. And one of my favorite budget curve toppers is this guy, Sphinx of Uthune. 5 blue creature Sphinx. It's a 5/6 with flying. When this guy enters the battlefield, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, put 1 pile in your hand and the other into your graveyard. Which is a lot of fun, man. It's just factor fictioning with this big beefy body, dude. How about the damn palace jailer? You get to be the king, dude. King in the castle, king in the castle. If you lose it, just make a copy next round or slap in with a damn Lord of Change. Another budget curve topper. Draw 3 cards, man. You can't beat that. Now you're definitely going to want some interaction. Cheap way to overcome the limitations of a budget deck is to build in ways to utilize your opponent's resources. Sower of Temptation is 2 blue, creature, fairy wizard. It's a 2/2 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as Sower of Temptation remains on the battlefield. 32 cents for this beast, dude. Take away those blockers, swang on in. Now red is also really good at this. It's temporary usually, but say you cast Molten Primordial, right? 5 red, creature avatar. It's a 6/4 with haste. When this guy enters the battlefield, for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures, they gain haste until end of turn. Okay, then you make a copy, right? Grab all the stuff that was going to block your fellas. They obviously can't swing in for damage, you know, because your guy is already tapped and attacking, but what do you want from me? Oh yeah, I know what you want from me. You want a dope deck. Well, you temporarily take control of creatures, you may want to slot in a few sacrifice outlets to kill your opponent's stuff and your temporary copies for advantage, like Goblin Bombardment, right? It's a classic. You can utilize those temporary copies as removal or stuff you steal as removal. Ping somebody right in the damn face. Look at this card, man. The Golden Throne. 4 generic mana, legendary artifact, arcane life support. If you would lose the game instead, exile the Golden Throne, your life total becomes 1. 1,000 souls die every day. Tap, sacrifice a creature, add 3 mana in any combination of colors. This is a pretty undersung card in Commander. It's about $2. Pretty classic piece of 40k lore and flavor. The art is dope, dude. I'm honestly surprised this doesn't see more play. You also probably want to include a Blink sub-theme. Blink those ETB effect creatures, brother. Yorion the Sky Nomad. This guy is 3 and hybrid white blue, legendary creature, bird serpent. It's a 4/5. It's a companion. Your starting deck has at least 20 cards more than its minimum deck size. Well, guess what? You can't do that in Commander, dude. That's flying. When this guy enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of your next end step. Now, this guy's pretty cool. But contrast that with the wording on Cloud Shift. 1 white for an instant, exile target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. It doesn't say you have to own the card. So if you temporarily take control of something, you can blink it back under your control and keep it. You gotta read them cards, baby, or I can read them to you, like a bedtime story in the night. So I put together a $35 budget deck, less than any pre-con out there, with a better mana base. So what are some budget bangers we need to slot in there? Well, we're gonna start with the old Sludge Monster. 3 blue creature horror. It's a 5/5. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, put a slime counter on up to 1 other target creature. Non-horror creatures with slime counters on them lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 2/2. I don't know who the actual Sludge Monster is in this art, but he's in there somewhere, dude, and it's a neat ETB effect. Lock down the opposing commander, build around, do whatever you gotta do. How about this fella, the Trumpeting Carnosaur. 4 red creature dinosaur. It's a 7/6 with trample. When it enters the battlefield, discover 5. Has 2 and a red, discard it, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Big time value piece in a deck where you're making copies. Just vomit things out onto the battlefield, dude. Conquering Manticore. 4 red creature Manticore. It's a 5/5 with flying. When this guy enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste until end of turn. It speaks no commands but is always obeyed. I like this guy. It's a big 5/5 flyer. Plus he has cool art, man. You know what I kind of like, dude, on this guy? His big muscles, brother. He's kind of like a lion, but also a dude. Look at this sexy and beautiful lady, the Sanctuary Warden. 4 white creature, angel soldier. It's a 5/5 with flying. Enters the battlefield with 2 shield counters on it. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may remove a counter from a creature or planeswalker you control. If you do, draw a card and create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. This is another beefy flyer that does all kinds of good stuff on ETB. I'm a huge fan of this card, and guess what, dude? It's only 50 cents. So listen, man, check out the deck list. It's an extreme budget here for 35 bucks. It's going to be a fun deck to slap around the table when everybody's done with their try-hard, sweaty commander decks, just wants to have some battle cruiser fun. I think people kind of got hung up on the fact that, number 1, this guy looks like a damn dork. And number 2, it's got energy in there. It's like, I don't want to build around energy. Energy sucks. This guy's ability just on its own, minus the energy, is pretty awesome, man. Plus he's got 3 colors to choose from. There's a lot here, man. Lots of draw, lots of interaction. That's basically the whole damn deck. Nicky G, Better Commander, signing off.